And then Gen Zooted is described as Gen Z. This is the age of the people normally in between what we call like 14, 15, and 25. All right, 25, 26. And obviously it raises over time. It's kind of crazy that Gen Xers are in their 50s now and approaching 50s. Isn't that wild to think Gen X is that old? I'm a Gen Xer, and Gen X is everybody ages. So now Gen Z are not just teenagers and adolescents. Gen Zs are now literally crossing the line of 25. Gen Z will be great in the big. They will be out here voting like crazy. And Gen Z was blamed for the lack of the red wave. Gen Z people turned out to vote in significant force. All right, but what they're saying is Gen Z now going to make up a lot of employees. But Gen Z right now has a problem socializing. It says right here, Gen Z's biggest dating hurdle. They don't know how to flirt. They don't know how to flirt. Some Zoomers, typically defined as those born between 1997 and 2012, have shared their struggles with making a move. Oh my goodness. Again, this is an example of, this is NBC News. So new world order. This is NBC News, basically late to the party. And they're trying to figure out why people aren't mating, and they're not going to deal with the real issues. They're just going to say, people don't know how to make the first move. Okay, let me read this portion. It says, a generation has been so online that when it comes to talking to people, it's a bit scary. This is according to Maxine, age 28. This is the founder of We Meet IRL, which is in real life, a singles event group. Now, most of these people that have groups like this, you don't want no parts of going to any of these goofy ass groups, because the people that are in there are not going to deal with the real issue. They're just going to paint around the issue, blame men, more than likely blame the guy for the reason why people don't know how to flirt, which I've been saying that's not true. I think a lot of people have social anxiety, and women don't know how to flirt. Now, men don't know how to flirt either. Men don't even know what flirting is. Women don't even know what flirting is. We've lost this in this battle for equality and homogenizing everybody. Thus, flirting is uncomfortable. So uncomfortable that I'm going to tell you a weird story here in a minute. I hope I remember it. But it's so uncomfortable that we don't know what's sexual harassment and what's sexual assault, what's running game, and what's manipulation. Like, we are really, really clouded. So that if a guy does want to flirt with a woman, she walks by you. Women don't even, dude, there's women that say, when I walk by a guy and don't look, that means I like him. Then there's other women that say, when I walk by a guy and don't look at him, that means don't talk to me. Like, it's getting really weird. Not only that, with the Me Too movement and a lot of other things, men being recorded, posted online, there's a lot of social awkwardness between just the people in general, but also there's social awkwardness because we don't trust the other person. We don't trust what their intentions are. So the person receiving the approach and the flirting, we don't know if they're going to take it as some sort of awkwardness or flirting or harassment or anything like that. Am I going to be recorded? Am I going to be exposed online? This has all been happening. So women on the receiving end have not been trained to flirt, but men naturally want to flirt. Men don't know how to flirt and naturally want to flirt, but then we don't know what the receiver is going to do. Like, there's consequences to the person doing it. But let me play a video, and I'm going to tell you a weird story. Do not let me forget it. It's about, and I'm going to remind me to tell you, it's about body count from high school. Remember, if I forget it in the next 3 to 5 minutes, remind me about body count in high school. And I'm going to show you something completely insane from the male perspective. All right, so let's play this video of a young woman talking about Gen Z men and how to flirt. We'll play the video here.
What would you say? What you got? I'm gonna give you.
Hey, she bad. She all by herself. Go talk to her. No.
All right, so there it is right here. Here we go. Play it again.
If you had to flirt with a woman right now, what would you say? What you got? I'm gonna give you.
Hey, she bad. She all by herself. Go talk to her. No.
All right, so that's a funny clip. And that's a black man. And again, the whole running game, PUA dating coaches, I've been saying it's going to make a comeback, but it's got to come back. Dating coaches have to come back not looking predatory. There's going to be a lane for dating coaches to come back, but it's not going to be like the modern day pickup Mac coaches. It's not going to be that. They're not going to leap above, but they're going to be men that are going to be able to teach men not to simp and not to Mac, but to be able to have a common interaction that is somewhat a little bit better than Demolition Man. That's going to be a lane for people in the future. Not dudes doing pickup and PUA and this shit. But how many people are in that situation? I don't care if you look good, you're handsome, you're attractive, you're tall. Even though you might see something that looks, a woman that looks good, you still be like, nah, fuck that. We all engage in this behavior. And men who deny it, oh, well, you just ain't confident. You don't have the mouthpiece. Some men still be like, nah, fuck, I don't care if I'm comfortable and I know it. She by herself, I ain't going to go talk to her because there's other implications. I'm going to play the clip again. And then remind me to tell you the story about body count in high school. All right, but let me play the clip again.
If you had to flirt with a woman right now, what would you say? What you got? I'm going to give you.
Hey, she bad. She bad. She all by herself. Go talk to her. No.
You know, a lot of men feel this way. Instead of belittling these men, we have to figure out what is the problem. And a lot of guys will say, well, it's the men's problem. I think we need to teach women how to accept and reject properly. Number one issue is social anxiety. Some women are like uncomfortable with it, right? They're uncomfortable with it, meaning they don't know what to say back. What a woman will naturally do is you might not get rejected. Everybody can understand this. You might not get rejected, but what will happen is the woman will keep walking. She'll get uncomfortable. She'll pull her hair back like this. She'll say thank you, and she'll keep walking. Why? Because women want to protect themselves, right? They don't want to stop. They don't even want to appear desperate. So instead of going, oh, hi, and looking back, smiling, they tuck tail. Anybody ever experienced that? They tuck tail, they get uncomfortable, and they keep walking. Then what you'll have to do is if you want to engage further, you have to turn and follow her, catch up to her and talk. That is not men being intimidated to talk to women and not knowing how to flirt. That is the woman not knowing how to flirt. Am I not wrong? Sorry, am I not right? That's right. That is what happens to men. So you even stopped, opened your mouth. You saw her. You was like, hi, excuse me, miss. What's your name? Where you from? You even stopped. You told her, you acknowledged her, and the bitch kept walking. But she then said, I was interested. She kept walking. She like, oh, shit, I don't know what to do. Hi, thank you, and just kept on going. Now, guys, when you turn and follow her, you're taking a risk. Right? Because now she could be like, well, I didn't want you to do it. You start following me. I felt funny. I felt creepy. You were fine. Am I tripping? That's exactly what happened. So is it the men that don't know how to flirt or the women? If she said she was interested, why didn't she stop? That would be simple, just acknowledging the flirt. You were the one that kept walking. That social awkwardness, it had nothing to do with being rejected. It had nothing to do with men not approaching. She just didn't know how to accept the flirt. By keeping moving, then that is an indicator of they were socially awkward. They didn't know how to continue the flirt and the banter. Okay? But if soon as you turn around and chase them and walk after them, you already lost power. And not only that, she might even say you creepy and you're assaulting her. So you're just like, I wasn't trying to follow you or anything, and I didn't want to look creepy. I just didn't want you to get away. I wanted to approach you. Not, hey, baby, can you stop? Hey, ma'am, miss, can you stop? No, she keep walking. If she's with multiple women, she's not alone and you do that and there's two women walking, they're certainly going to keep walking because they are going to feel like I can't stop and be desperate in front of my friend. Come on, girl. The other girl will bring her and say, keep on walking. So these are indications of the women not handling flirting properly. Now watch this. Now the rejection. Okay, so now you even throw rejection on top of that, and rejecting in what manner, right? Are they sincere? Oh, no, thank you. I have a boyfriend. Now, of course, the dating coaches, that's an objection. You have to overcome it. All right, you lying, bitch. You ain't got no boyfriend, right? And then the guy goes above and beyond. So women naturally are going to come up with an objection to reject. Then they might get downright sassy and nasty with the rejection. So sometimes they do try to embarrass you because they're frustrated at the amount of men that approach them. If it's not the amount of men, it's the type of men. So she's frustrated. This does then indicate it is not the men that don't know how to flirt. Potentially, it's the women experiencing too many men or certain type of men approaching her. So she's pissed. She's frustrated. What type of job you got? Oh, God, you guys are all the same. Meanwhile, face full of makeup, ass hanging out, tight, revealing clothes, titties out. And this is an indicator of not the men having the problem. This is an indicator of the women having the problem. Why don't we address this? This is an example of the mainstream not addressing this. What about the manipulation? The woman takes a drink and walks off and says, I don't owe you anything. She violated the rules of the flirt. In terms of flirting, if we're going to play the flirt game, if I offered a drink and you accept it, that means, yeah, at least have a conversation with me. You got to at least listen to me. But to walk off and say, haha, I played you like a fool, that's why men stop flirting. So whose problem is this? Is it the men or the women? So when men stop buying drinks and the women say, why don't men buy drinks? Isn't this an indicator? Why don't men buy drinks? Isn't this an indicator of a problem with the women flirting or the men? Now, when you go to these groups and they're trying to figure this out, they're not going to address any of this. They're just going to say, well, men need to do this and what men need to do. And therein lies the problem with the common society. It's always the man's fault, right? It is.
And it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault.
If they wanted to correct this honestly, they would bring me in here at least to give the point of view of, yeah, people are not acting accordingly on either side. This is fair on both sides. This is fair. So there's people that are violating it and giving men in their early years that have little to leverage so many negative experiences that they just stop flirting. Then you hear the extremes. I'll never approach a woman. Fuck it, MGTOW. Then men go to extremes to avoid the whole thing altogether. So that's what's happening here. Story time. There's a video that I was watching that gave me, yes, thank you, Sizzo's on it, high body count. I'm glad you remembered. There's a video I was watching that gave me disturbing chills. And the woman was talking about body counts. And I think I'm going to play it later. But she basically was trying to say, well, the body counts don't matter because if a man has 1,000 bodies and a woman has 0, when he sleeps with her, she has 1,000 bodies. Now, it was some moving of the goalposts. It was some kind of weird shit. But she was referencing, actually, that was a different video. But let me just go back. This woman was referencing that the women that were the skeezers in high school are getting married. They're the ones getting married. Now, I don't know if this is true, but yes, hoes get turned into housewives. But she was like, the girls that were in the, at the football stadium in the bleachers, somewhere at the PE locker room getting their back blown out, they're the ones becoming wives. And thus, the hoes or the women with the high body counts are the ones getting married on Facebook. This is what the woman was saying. Do you know the responses of many women in this comment section gave me chills? And this is now another indicator of why men are somewhat untrusting of women. Let me see if I can find the post. Okay. Let me see if I can find the post. This shit was insane when I was like, oh no. Oh no. I was like, we got a problem. Basically, what many women appeared to be women, they could be bots, were saying in the comment section were that actually those incidences of high school promiscuity and sex were actually RAPE, grape. I kid you not. I wish I could find the post. I might be able to find it here. Oh no, that's all my linglings there with their feet out. The incidences were okay, I did find the post. I might play the video for you just to give you a little bit of context, and then we'll look in the comment section. I was like, oh, we in trouble, because we are in trouble. All right, so here it is right here. Here's the actual video.
Girls who got a train ran on them in high school, since we all grown now, what was...
I went to a city school.
And this is one of the most accurate things I've ever seen. If you went to a city school, there's always definitely a stairwell, a locker room, a bathroom, rumors where things happen. But here's the thing that I find most interesting. I mean, it adds up, but the girlies that was doing those types of things back then, they the ones with the husbands now. Like, full families.
All right, so let me stop it right there. So this woman, both women, they say the women that were doing trains in high school and the women that were down there skeezers in high school, she's saying they're the ones with the husbands. And by the way, come see me, sis, after the show. All right, so I then went to the comment section and I said, dun, 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 dun. And here we go. Unfortunately, some feel like it says, oh, I'm not sure what that means. Oh, feels like a lot of girls who did trains were pressured into it. Pressured into it. See that? Pressured into it. Let me get it right here. All right, so here we go right here. Watch this. Most of the time, it was grape. They had no say. They were assaulted and victimized by rumors and bad reputations. You do realize young girls aren't usually signing up for trains, right? Train. They usually go there for one guy, then the guy will leave her alone in the room, and after they tell his friends to go in, it's actually sexual assault, if we're being honest, because sometimes consent is an option as opposed to a violent ending. Train. All right? Man, listen, I don't know where y'all at. Here it is right here. Okay, this one says right here, y'all, everyone was not getting great. We knew girls were just doing it to do it. Thank you, Portia. Thank you, Portia. Okay. The person who posted this neglects to consider that those women who were hypersexualized as kids are most likely to be married to a man that's mistreating or asserting their dominance over them as an adult. Let's go here. This one just says facts. I knew a girl that frequented house parties getting ran through. She is now married with 2 kids. Instagram looks like a suburban dream. This one, a lot of those girls were getting SA'd. Trying. 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 Now, again, it's just an Instagram post. This is not data. I mean, I'm curious as to why people are talking about it like that. It's mind-boggling for me. It's mind-boggling, like, whoa, like, wow, y'all really took it there? Is that what we're doing now? Again, this is withdrawal of consent. Now, because you didn't benefit from it, guys, I'm not saying none of this happened. I'm just saying there was no benefit. Now, all of a sudden, we're going back to high school trains and saying that it was us, bruh. Woo, wait. Unbelievable, man. Trying. Doesn't that give you pause? Again, this is why I say, man, women can be very dangerous to you because how they see something today is going to be different than how they see it 10 years from now. And they can reframe it and reshape it how they want and bring down everything. Now, you don't have any proof, no receipts, no videos. All she has is a story. And her story can certainly be framed as that. You just never know. You just never know. But that's scary. I was like, oh my goodness, boy. I was like, man, y'all cooked out here. Y'all are cooked. And anybody saying don't worry about all of this. I mean, how, man? How can you legitimately say to a man to not worry about this? This is incredible. This is incredible. So like in this situation, you got 2 high school students. Guys, I told you about scenarios I've been put in. Same thing. Woman says, I'll take all 3 of you on. Now, is that a sexual assault? It can be years later. It can be years later. As soon as you say I go first, that's when it started. And the person is going to say, well, she was pressured and she didn't consent and it was right. How do you know? How do people know what actually happened? How do people have any reference to say, well, this is what happened. Do you even have an opportunity as a man while you're sitting in jail and watching your job go away, and you're sitting in jail watching everything you work for go away while you're trying to explain this and say, nah, man, that didn't happen like that? It is scary. This shit is wild, man. But just to see that comment section come up with that, I was floored. I was like, God damn, is this what we're doing? We're calling hookups back in high school and early college sexual assault. I mean, by what basis? This is crazy, crazy nonsense. Oh, my Lord. Y'all got to stop. And we know women be out here being skeezers. I mean, it is what it is. It's always around. But now these girls are saying they were raped. Like, this is nuts. Nuts. If you enjoyed this clip, check me out on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel for the best morning live stream every weekday. And of course, we're back for the evening live streams as well. Check out the times in the featured channels on this channel right here. And also the links are in the description box. I will see you there.
New world order.